So I'm asking the question, are we happy to see black men fall?
The hero stumbles, or the cowards rejoice. Nothing feels better to a coward than to watch a brave guy fall.
So once again, I'm asking the question, are we happy to see black men fall? Because I swear, some people who look like me and you be acting like they happy when they see a black man go down. Now, this video is about 5 prominent black men who all fell. And at the top of that list, we have the king of pop, Michael Jackson, who was accused of child molestation. Even though an FBI investigation found no wrongdoing, he will still always be guilty in the court of public opinion because he settled out. Now, I know a lot of people gonna say Mike brought these problems on himself. What the hell was he doing as a grown-ass man inviting kids over to his house to stay the night? And I agree. I know the whole situation is hella weird. However, I remind you that an FBI's investigation found no wrongdoing. Now, what a lot of people don't know about Michael Jackson is he never had a childhood. He started performing from the age of 5. So when he became an adult with millions of dollars, he built an amusement park in his backyard and started inviting kids over. Once again, I know it is weird. However, I remind you once again, an FBI investigation found no wrongdoing. Now let's hear from child star Cory Spellman as he talks about Michael Jackson being innocent, and as he also talks about how the feds tried to influence him to say that Mike had molested him.
Imagine you believe that children are being abused by pedophiles in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
So why are you sitting down talking to me? Why aren't you sitting down with the police right now?
I've told the police. In fact, if anybody wants to go back to 1993 when I was interviewed by the Santa Barbara Police Department, I sat there and I gave them the names. They're on record. They have all of this information, but they were scanning Michael Jackson. All they cared about was trying to find something on Michael Jackson.
Who you said, by the way, did not abuse you.
Who Michael was innocent, and that was what the interview was about with the police in 1993. I told them he is not that guy, and they said, well, maybe you just don't understand your friend. And I said, no, I know the difference between pedophiles and somebody who's not a pedophile because I've been molested. Here's the names. Go investigate. And let me push this forward. There are thousands of people in Hollywood who have this same information. Why is it all on me? Why is it if I don't release the names in the next 2 months, 6 months, or a year, I'm the bad guy? I'm the victim here. I'm the one who's been abused. I'm the one who's trying to come forward and do something about it.
But
Hold on, please. I'm sorry. There are thousands of people out there, Matt, who have this information. Any one of those child actors that went to the teenage soda pop clubs with me when I was a kid know who those people are and the people who ran it. Anybody can go back through history and look at the teen magazines and say, what was the name of that venue they were all promoting and who ran that venue and who endorsed.
Now, in that clip, you heard Cory Spellman say he was not molested by Michael Jackson. And you heard him say how the feds tried to influence him to say that he was. And you also heard him say he was molested by other people in Hollywood. And I'm going to leave that right there. Moving along, next on the list of black men to fall, we have America's favorite black television father, Mr. Puddin' Pop himself, Bill Cosby. Now, was Bill Cosby innocent of his charges? Absolutely not. He was guilty. And he admitted to this. Back in 2006, he sat down for a deposition, and the judge promised him whatever he said in that deposition would not be used against him to prosecute him. So Bill came clean, and he admitted. He said, hey, back in my past, I used to give women quaaludes and efforts to have sex with them. And he then settled the case out of court for $3 million and some change. That was 2006. Fast forward to 2018, they dragged Bill Cosby back into court, try him, and find him guilty of drugging and sexually assaulting the same woman that he already paid the settlement to back in 2006. Now, we're talking about two things here. We're talking about what's legal and what's moral. What's legal is not always moral, and what's moral is not always legal. But what the court did was illegal. The man Cosby I'm talking about already paid for the settlement in 2006. They found him guilty and sentenced him to 3 to 10 years. Now, because what the courts did was illegal, they had to overturn the case, and they released Bill Cosby in 2021. Now, some would say, why did they do that if they knew it was illegal? In my opinion, it was a smear campaign. Because what I'm being told, Bill Cosby was in the process of trying to buy NBC. And what better way to turn the public against Bill Cosby than to drag him back into court for a case that he already settled back in 2006. Now, you can say what you want about Bill Cosby, but I want to remind you of his contribution to the culture. Before Bill Cosby came along and started doing television, there were no positive black images on TV. Every black person you seen on TV that was acting was either a pimp, a drug dealer, a prostitute, a butler, a maid. There was no positive images. Bill Cosby comes along, creates the Cosby Show, where you have a 2-parent black home where both parents are doctors. I remember black people complaining about the show when it came out, saying, oh, that's not realistic. A 2-parent black home with 2 black doctors. Like, at that time, black people couldn't even fathom that it was possible. And then after the Cosby Show, you had a different world, a show about kids, black kids, going to a black college. All positive images. So I think we should also give Cosby his flowers for his contribution to the culture. Listen, man, I don't know how you weigh sin. Some people say all sin is equal. Some people might say some sin is worse than others. I'll let you be the judge of that. Moving along. Next, we have R. Kelly. Now, when it comes to R. Kelly, there's not much I can say about his case that hasn't already been said. In my opinion, R. Kelly has a sickness. He has a fetish for having sex with girls who are minors. And what makes his offense even worse, he likes to record it. But one thing I will say about R. Kelly that I haven't heard enough people say, if anybody said anything at all about this, R. Kelly married Aaliyah when she was just 14 years of age. And nobody seemed to be tripping about this. Like, to me, that was hella weird. Like, he married her at 14, and I seen nobody saying anything about it. Now, I'm not trying to give Kelly any type of pass or excuse, but in some way, I feel like the public was condoning his behavior. Now, I Googled, now this is just for research purposes, I Googled the average jail time that a sex offender gets. And Google said a sex offender who commits the R word gets normally 16 years. They sentenced R. Kelly to 30. Now, next on the list of black men who have fallen, we have actor Jonathan Majors, who starred in HBO's Lovecraft Country, Creed 3. He also made an appearance in a Marvel movie called Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now, to me, Jonathan Majors is a phenomenal actor whose career was just getting started until it was pushed over a cliff. Like, have you ever seen anybody fall that fast? I'm talking about up here yesterday, down here today. Now, ladies, I want to say this first. I would never condone domestic violence. But when you look at this clip right here, Jonathan Majors is pushing his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari, away, and he runs in the opposite direction. Now, ladies, if you was trying to get away from a dude and you pushed him and ran in the opposite direction, would you consider that assault? Probably not. However, Jonathan Majors was charged a misdemeanor charge for assault and harassment. However, that misdemeanor charge, we're not even talking about a felony. We're talking about a misdemeanor charge. That misdemeanor charge caused him to get fired by Marvel. And he got dropped from playing a movie where he was going to be Dennis Rodman in a movie called 48 Hours in Vegas. He also lost brand deals with the U.S. Army and the Texas Rangers. Just to name a few. That has got to be the most expensive misdemeanor in the history of law. Next on the list of black men who have fallen, we have Sean Combs, also known as P. Diddy. Now, out of all the men on this list, Diddy is the only one that I've actually been around. And from the few times I spent time around him, I've never seen anything crazy. And I've only seen him treat people with respect. Now, when it comes to Diddy's parties, I've been to about 3 of Diddy's parties. One here in New York, one in Houston, and one at the Palms Casino in Vegas. And I'm not going to lie. Out of all 3 of those parties, the only one that was a little weird was the one in Vegas. It was weird to me because it was so dark. Like, the lights was turned down so low. I've never been in a party that was that dark. What also made it weird, while I'm standing there, I see somebody approaching, like coming towards my way, wearing a white bathrobe. As the dude gets close, I realize it's Diddy and he's staring at me. All I did was just look away. Now, I don't know what that look meant that Diddy might have been giving me, but I wasn't trying to find out, and I'm damn sure not going to be staring a man in the face while he's wearing a bathrobe in a dark party. But now, when it comes to Diddy, I've only been told 2 things consistently over the years. 2 things. One thing is that He likes to get a little freaky. I don't know if that's true, but if it is true, that's not a crime. That's his business. I've also consistently been told that Diddy does not like to pay people what they're worth. And that's not a crime. That's called negotiations. But when you look at the way Diddy's crib was raided in LA, you got to ask yourself, was all that necessary? The choppers, the feds, Homeland Security, armored vehicles, and for what? All of that, and what did they find? As of right now, as I make this video, Diddy hasn't been charged with anything. But out of that whole raid, the image that bothered me the most is seeing Kristen and Justin in handcuffs. Like, I think the world has seen enough black men in handcuffs. Did we really need to see that image? Like, how was that necessary? Even if you say, okay, they was handcuffed for the feds' safety. Okay, if you gotta handcuff them and put them in a vehicle. Why handcuff them and have them standing there to be filmed by the news cameras? Like, how was that necessary? And you think about Jeffrey Epstein. Did his crib get raided like that? Because if it did, we damn sure didn't see it. I think that was a little excessive, if you ask me. Now, as of right now, Diddy hasn't been charged with anything. That may change down the line and in the future. But if we follow the letter of the law here in America, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. And like I said, right now, he's a free man. He hasn't been charged with anything. So the people, and especially the people from my community, the same energy that you got for Diddy, maybe you should keep just a little of that energy, not even all of that energy. Just keep a little of that energy for Dan Snyder from Nickelodeon. And maybe his victims can get justice. But hey, as always, I want to thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. I'm your host, Nizzy Nice, and we rollin' ratchet.